Bills-Chiefs. In Buffalo, Patrick Mahomes' first road playoff game. You got the Bills favored by 2.5 here. 6:30 start Sunday evening.
Yeah, 2.5. So not even the full 3-point home favorite thing.
It's not. They're close. I mean, I think Buffalo was a slight favorite in Kansas City about a month ago, whatever that was. They played a great game. That was the Kadarius Toney offsides play. I wonder, I wonder if the Chiefs are confident enough to have like a lateral play ready. Missed opportunity last time. We didn't, but we'll hit
play
it this
one.
time.
Just run it back.
Yeah. See what happens. But yeah, narrative-wise, of course, Josh Allen and the Bills trying to get over this playoff hump.
Doesn't that feel weird, though, that they were slight favorite in Kansas City in that game, which they won? They haven't lost since. I would say of the two teams, they're definitely the one that has made the biggest strides from where they were at that particular point, and somehow Vegas is sort of saying, actually, it's the Chiefs are now a better team.
I think it's
comparatively.
The health. I think it's the health. I also think people looked at the Chiefs pretty much dominated the other night. They moved the ball really well offensively, and it almost looked like did Patrick Mahomes and the offense have a good season relative to expectations for Kansas City? Absolutely not. But they moved the ball really well. I mean, it was like playoff Mahomes the other day.
Yeah, against a team that had no pass rush and was blitzing the crap out of them because they had no pass rush.
No, I get it.
Which you don't do to Mahomes ever because he's Mahomes.
Buffalo also played on Monday. Kansas City played on Saturday. So that's...
Have you run your numbers of like every game they've had extra rest forever? Why does the NFL rig the game for Kansas City?
Right? Well, they had a stretch at the end of the season where they were on the other end of it. And that was when they weren't playing very well, Kansas City. That was when they were struggling. I think that kind of matters. Buffalo just played Monday. And here's who's questionable. Starting slot, Teron Johnson is in concussion protocol. Taylor Rapp, safety. Both linebackers, Terrell Bernard, Tyrell Dodson, both questionable. Christian Benford at corner, questionable. Now, I think Rasul Douglas should be back on one side for Buffalo. But this whole defense is depleted.
Yeah, again.
Gabe Davis again, too. But I'm less worried about Gabe Davis. I think when you're going up against this Chiefs offense, the Bills having a depleted defense, it's just Andy Reid knows how to attack those guys. He knows how to attack. The whole story of this whole show is like good offensive coordinators know how to attack the linebacker level. Well, Teron Johnson is like an extra linebacker at nickel, and both linebackers are questionable.
It's some of their best players this year on defense, and it's not even factoring the players that they've been missing all the way along. Forget the players they lost in the offseason, like Edmonds, but Matt Milano going down earlier. They lost some of their most important players early, and these have been the guys that have been playing really well in their stead, and then they get banged up. The worst thing about that game against Pittsburgh is you're watching it, and like every few minutes there's another Buffalo Bill down. You're like, come on. Yeah. They're winning this game. They're going to win this game. Just stop getting hurt. It's ruining the next game.
Yeah. And plus, the last game, did Buffalo win? Yes. Just 2 plays off the top of my head. Josh Allen nearly running out of bounds, pivoting back and making a big throw. Huge play, right? So that's, kind of a crazy play. That was one of the biggest plays of the game. And then the Kadarius Toney offside. I mean, those 2 things flip the game in Buffalo's favor. So I don't think it's Buffalo's a much better team. I mean, they're really close teams. That's what it is.
Yeah.
But I think that the injuries stacked up. Like if they had a few more of these guys healthy, maybe Buffalo's favored by a little bit more.
Yeah, I mean, the injuries have to be a factor at some point for Buffalo. They've just lost too many guys. But I guess if you were going to lose players concentrated on one side of the ball or not, you would prefer them to be gone on defense for Buffalo rather than offense, because Kansas City's offense is doing the job for you half the time with mistakes, whether it's drops, penalties, whatever. The Chiefs' offense has not been the force that it has been previously, whereas the Chiefs' defense is amazing. So if the Buffalo team was like down all of its offensive linemen or all of its receivers and you were going up against the Chiefs' defense, you'd be like, I mean, they're in real trouble. Whereas now it's like, okay, clearly you don't want to face Patrick Mahomes with a very depleted defense. On the other hand, can you rely on half the guys they have to reliably catch the ball? Probably not. So we might get away with it.
I will say, I wonder if the Bills, if this was the previous Bills team, I think they had decent pass catchers. they've been spreading the ball around a ton, right? They haven't relied on Stephon Diggs nearly as much as they have in past years. And if he goes up against L'Jarius Sneed, Sneed's been awesome this year, especially just manning up against good receivers. Are the Bills actually more equipped with how Dalton Kincaid has continued to come on? The fact that we've got him going more than his receiving total on our prize picks. Khalil Shakir making a ton of plays in recent weeks. Dawson Knox, always seems to show up when they need him. I wonder if Buffalo's actually more equipped.
Oh, they definitely are
right now by spreading the ball.
Even without Gabe Davis. I mean, Kincaid, James Cook has been a big threat out of the backfield. Shakir, as you mentioned, I mean, we just saw a couple plays from Deontay Hardy showing what he can do when you get the ball in his hands. Like, that guy's electric.
Get him a few more plays.
Yeah, so I think absolutely. They've got ways to spread the ball around and make you defend everybody that's out there on the field. They're definitely, I think, they've become – this is kind of what they were looking for last year, and the last 2 years really, was just a more varied group at wide receiver or at receiver, period. Like, just more places to go with the football for Josh Allen rather than Stephon Diggs, then Gabe Davis, and then nothing.
The one thing I've highlighted throughout the year is the Chiefs' run defense. And, from a grading standpoint, I don't think it's terrible. It's just they have those games where they give up 4, you give up 5. They allow offenses to have long drives. And it used to be like, man, you better do that against the Chiefs. If you steal a possession from Patrick Mahomes, you'll at least give yourself an opportunity. And it does, I think in a lot of those games that the Chiefs lost this year, it was the run defense kind of letting them down in addition to the offense. Pass coverage and what Spags has done defensively for the Chiefs, the way he has dialed up pressures at the right time, just made life miserable for opposing quarterbacks for the most part, I think has been huge. But this is the game, too, where Buffalo, historically, if we come out of this and they win, we might say that, they've been building to this because of having James Cook be a bigger part of the offense. I think Buffalo's run game is going to be massive in this game. And then at the end of the day, X's and O's and the whole thing, throw it out the window because they just need Josh Allen to be special 4 or 5 times. And the Chiefs might just need Patrick Mahomes to be special 4 or 5 times, and whoever has a little bit more special at the end of the day comes out on top.
Yeah, it really is. I think there's a huge element to this game that is exactly that, which is both of these quarterbacks are, like we talked about with Lamar Jackson, they're capable of making you wrong no matter what you did. You can have the perfect defense called against the perfect offensive play. You have everything shut down, everything covered, and then Josh Allen or Patrick Mahomes, they're just going to go, nope, I'm going to find something ridiculous, and there's nothing you can do to stop it. And they'll do it in different ways, but they both do it. They both do it fairly regularly. Maybe Josh Allen is a little bit more likely to also do something silly on the flip side, but each one of those guys is capable of doing enough of those plays to tilt the game in their favor. And, I mean, Allen was virtually flawless against Pittsburgh, rather, in the wild card. I mean, that's absolutely a huge part of it. Which guy is going to make the most crazy plays and avoid a bad mistake?
Such an interesting history between these two teams. They did not play in the playoffs last year or in 22, right? Or in 22. But in 21 was that crazy divisional game.
13-second game.
The 13-second game, the overtime win for the Chiefs.
And that was in the freezing cold as well.
Was it that cold?
It was cold, right?
In Kansas City? This is Patrick Mahomes' first road playoff game. Obviously, Super Bowls are neutral sites. It doesn't matter that they played in Tampa. It's neutral. But this first road playoff game, he's been outstanding on the road. The Chiefs have been fine on the road with Mahomes under center. I don't think that's going to be a huge factor. Do we have lake effect snow coming in? Last time I checked, it was like just 15, 20 degrees. Nothing crazy.
23 and broken clouds.
Come on. Weak.
Pathetic, frankly.
So it's going to be about 40 degrees warmer. No, legitimately like 27 degrees warmer than it was in Kansas City last week.
Yeah, and more than that. I'm sorry, forget. I need
but
wind chill.
You don't have the wind chill here. The wind chill clearly will be lower than that.
I need wind chill factored in. It's real. It feels like what the wind is.
Is there any wind in there? Because the wind affects the pass game as much as anything.
I mean, it doesn't mention wind, therefore I assume there's not much wind.
Jeez, what the heck? Guy finally got back to me. So Mahomes' first playoff game, there's your narrative there, and then the Bills, trying to get that Super Bowl win. And they'll have to do it probably going through Kansas City, potentially going through Baltimore to get where they want to go.
Yeah, as in beating them.
What?
As in beating them. I mean,
Yeah.
they don't have to go through Kansas City because it's in Buffalo.
No, through the team.
Yeah.
Through the team, not the city. Not the city here. The other thing in that early matchup, AJ Epinesa had like an outstanding interception early on Mahomes. The Bills have done a nice job against the Chiefs offense overall, but in the regular season, not in the playoffs. How much does that matter? In every one of these situations, Sam, I'm like, well, will the Ravens feel the pressure of, never getting to the AFC Championship with Lamar? Will the Niners feel the pressure of maybe the Packers getting up early? Will the Bills? Will this come down to a pressure thing? The Chiefs rolled in Saturday night against the Dolphins, and they were just like, we've done this before. I don't care how cold it is. Doesn't matter. We're the Chiefs. We're the defending champs.
Well, that's the thing. You mentioned the touchy-feely stuff before, and we talked about Dallas battling against this weight of history, and they know that they choke every year, and it weirdly makes them more inclined to choke the next time because they know it happens. The Chiefs are the one team out there that is working in the exact opposite direction, where they know that they win these games, right? They've done it before. They have this, whatever you want to call it, like championship pedigree or whatever. They know how to win. They're the one team that is dealing with the exact opposite of what Dallas is. They are buoyed by history. They know that, it can look ridiculous. Like, they can score. There's only 13 seconds left on the clock. Doesn't matter. We'll get it done. We've done it before. It's easy. Like that thing that you listen to any old 49ers player talking about Joe Montana. Like, there was no situation. The situation could not be bleak enough that they gave up belief that Joe Montana would bring them back and they'd win the game because they'd done it before. And they had all these kinds of ridiculous, improbable comebacks already on the resume. The Chiefs are that. There's no situation you can put them in where they are not confident that they can dig their way out of it because they have Patrick Mahomes and they've done it so many times before and they've won all of these games along the way to those Super Bowls. So I do think that is a thing where, Buffalo has not won this game before in terms of knocking off Kansas City in the playoffs at the critical moment. The Chiefs have. So if it gets tight late on, it probably is a factor.
Yeah, I mean, even if the Bills get up, they were up early in the Chiefs game and almost let them back in Kansas City earlier this year too. Even if they get up early, that's in the back of their mind. I just have this picture of like Chris Jones. At some point in this game, Chris Jones is going to have Josh Allen in his arms. And it's tough. You don't get Josh Allen down right away. It takes a little time. And you see Josh, you just see in his brain, he's got the ball, and Jones has his arms around him. He's trying to get a handle on it. Just trying to get a handle on it. And I'm gonna shovel it or I'm gonna lateral it. You don't know what I'm gonna do with the ball. My fumble might come down to that. Chris Jones has Allen wrapped up, and we don't know what's gonna happen with the ball. He's just not gonna get tackled. The ball's gonna get thrown some way, some direction.
I want to see a textbook lateral out of the grasp from Josh Allen in this game, where he takes off from the pocket, he's running to the right. There's a defender in the open field. He's also got a guy trailing behind him. Allen sets up the defender. He cuts inside. Defender's got him wrapped up, and he reaches like right around the guy, one-handed, drops the pass off to the guy running beside him, up the sideline, touchdown. Like textbook rugby play.
I was joking about the Chiefs, but to loosen things up.
Sonny Bill Allen. That's what we're dealing with.
Okay. To loosen things up, should the Bills start with the lateral play? Get Dalton Kincaid running the lateral. The next Travis Kelce, Dalton Kincaid here. Really say we're taking over here. That's how you loosen things up. Not play tight. Yeah, the touchy-feely stuff matters because when it comes down to crunch time, are the Bills, thinking about past failures? Are they pressing?
I don't know that they would. I don't know that it's going to work against them. I think Dallas is the only team where it works against them in a hard way. But I do think the fact that the Chiefs have the opposite helps them. So I don't think Buffalo is necessarily going to be dealing with they've beaten us before, they're going to beat us again. But I do think Kansas City is sort of aware of the fact that we win these games. Nobody else does. We do. We win these games. So if it's close, if the Bills are struggling to get it over the line, we know we're going to come back.
It's going to be fun, man. It's going to be fun. Again, narrative-wise, it's been an interesting year for the Chiefs because They've won in different ways. They have the second best scoring defense in the NFL. It's been a different style, and it's probably just as equipped to make a playoff run as their previous style, relying more on the offense. And then for Buffalo, they went from a 500 team halfway through the year, but all the underlying metrics said this team's really good. Get Joe Brady in as offensive coordinator. The offense didn't necessarily get better. The defense did, but they won a lot more games. I think they played better situationally since that point. Maybe the EPA stuff isn't there, but situationally, Buffalo's done a better job. And they've had games where they've won in different ways. They've won with the run game. They've won with different pass catchers. I think Buffalo has more ways to win. And at the end of the day, it's going to come down to the superhuman QBs, I think, and who makes the most plays. So anything else to add to this game here, Sam?
No, just that, I mean, okay, neither one of these teams has necessarily been what we thought they would be before the season started, but it's kind of ended up where we wanted it anyway. They're still two legitimate contenders. I think either one of these teams could win a Super Bowl this year, and getting to see them, square off again in the divisional round is a really exciting matchup.
All right, can Buffalo get over the hump in the playoffs against the Chiefs? Can they do it favored by 2.5?
I'm saying yes, they do.
Wow, look at you. I'm going to go with the Chiefs.
Okay.
I'm going to say the Chiefs are going to do it. Cover the 2.5. Pull the upset, I guess. So I've got Chiefs-Ravens. Yeah, I think I've got Chiefs-Ravens and Niners. And who? Lions. Winning those games. Winning the games. But I got 3 underdogs covering though.
Yeah.
I think I took all underdogs. I took all dogs this weekend.
So I would have.
This is your only. No, you took the 2 favorites on Sunday. Okay.
Yeah.
Lions.
But in terms of winning the game, so I only specified covering with the big lines. In terms of winning the game, I mean, obviously I have Buffalo, Baltimore, and then, probably San Francisco, Detroit.
Yeah. Could you imagine a Detroit-Buffalo Super Bowl? Something's got to give. Someone has to win.
Someone's has got to go.
Right?
There's no way you can both lose this game.
There's a part of me that wants to see those types of matchups, right? Like some fan base is getting it, right? They're finally getting over that.
Yeah.
And it would be fun. We'll see what happens.
I mean, the only team left, really, that it would be just completely is Kansas City, right? Like you've won too many already.
They're going for dynasty status.
I know, but like nobody likes that. Unless you're a Chiefs fan, nobody likes rooting for the dynasty. Nobody was there other than Patriots/Brady fans going, "Come on, let's get the 6th."
Yeah.
Nobody wants that.
By the way, I'm taking Kansas City because I'm really concerned about the Bills' defensive injuries.
Oh, same.
I am very concerned about them. I think that's going to be an issue.
It's a huge blow. I mean, they are missing multiple key players on a unit that's already badly depleted. It will absolutely have an effect.